opinions from
Facts.
facts, drawing conclusions. You should be able to decide and make a decision based on what you are reading. Drawing conclusions. You're coming to a conclusion. Oh, now I understand why I shouldn't be walking alone at night in Malaysia. Is that okay? Can you all follow now? Alright? So that is drawing conclusions. Self-questioning. Selena, you want to try self-questioning?
Ask question myself.
Based on the passage you are reading, you have to continuously ask questions. True or not true? Is this a fact or is this an opinion? Is it somebody's explanation which is very slanted according to their beliefs, to their culture, to their, I don't know, race, religion, whatever. Can you understand now? Alright? Because we live in a world which is so widespread, which is so vast, that you cannot say the way I look at things is the only right thing. All the others are wrong. That is very wrong. It just shows how small-minded we are. Is that okay? So, when we draw self-question, we can read anything. To me, you can read anything. But you should be able to answer the question, is it beneficial for me or not? Is it a fact or just an opinion? So that you must be very clear. Is that okay? Okay? Because after this, I'm going to give some... Okay, I'll give you one reading passage. From there, we will decide. Okay, I'll ask somebody to summarize it, somebody to sequence it, somebody to do inferencing, comparing, contrasting. All that will happen now after this. Alright? Okay, next is problem solving. What is problem solving? You're reading a passage. Does that passage actually help to solve a problem? Maybe you have a problem. That's why you're reading that passage. And that passage gives you the answers. Is that okay? If there is no reason, then maybe we don't want to read. We are wasting our time. Correct? Okay, so that is problem solving. Relating background knowledge. Okay, inferencing and relating background knowledge are quite similar, are quite related. But we put it differently because inferencing is not only what you know, but also what you know formally, but also what you know now. So you are trying to connect with the new reading passage. But going to relating background knowledge is always in the background. The background you bring to the new and try and make the connection. Is that okay now? They are quite similar in that sense. Alright? Distinguishing between fact and opinion, like what I was telling you, you should be able to decide, at least reason, argue, is this a fact or is this an opinion? Because many times we think it's a fact, but actually it's an opinion. Many times we think it's an opinion, but actually it can be a fact. But then again, what is a fact? Fact can change, right? Can facts change? No? Example, give me one example of a fact that cannot change.
1 plus 1.
What?
1 plus 1 equal 2.
2. 1 plus 1 equals 2. You agree?
Yes.
You agree? At the first level, we agree. First level. There is a second level. It's not adultish, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
1 plus 1, a man and a woman, 2 people, when they get married, they come together. 1 plus 1 becomes 3, or even 4. So at the first level, 1 plus 1, mathematics, pure mathematics, simple calculation, 1 plus 1 is 2. That is a fact. I'm not saying it's an opinion, but that also can be argued. One more example we give you. The sun rises, you all heard that, right? The sun rises in the east, rises, and sets in the west. Is that a fact or an opinion? sun doesn't move.
Yeah.
The sun doesn't move. Okay, I don't know. I want to be very clear, alright? But because we have been deceived, alright? I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's okay. Primary schools, all of us learn the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, alright? Because morning, the sunrise, okay, the sun rises, this is the east, alright, and at the end of the day, it moves here and then comes here, alright, it sets in the west. Okay, that is direction based, alright, it sets in the west. Okay. And midday, if you are the person standing here, whoa, it's right up here, the sun is right up here. As if the sun is moving, but actually the sun doesn't move. So the sun rising, because rising itself is movement. Setting is movement. So primary school we learn what we see, rising. Where is the east? Okay, rises in the east and then it sets in the west. Primary school, but secondary school already you should know the sun doesn't move. Who is moving? The earth is moving. Because of the earth moving, we also moving, right? So suddenly that fact is not a fact already. Then we say the sun doesn't move. Yes or no? Yes or no? I mean, the sun doesn't move, right? Is that true? Is that again a question comes? Is that true?
Sun doesn't move. True. Maybe not. Not true.
Why? I like things like that. I always want to argue.
Many people said sunrise in east and sets in west. Like the expression is like that.
It's an expression.
Yes.
But already, you see, though, I think half the world has believed it's the truth. They don't think it's an expression, they think it's the truth. Like you, just 2 minutes ago, you say it's the truth. You say, can you understand now? Alright? No, I'm not saying it's wrong. But primary stuff, elementary stuff, you have to teach kids what they see. So that's not wrong. But secondary already, you should be able to think a bit more deeper and understand that the sun doesn't move. Alright? But is that the truth? Even now, some scientists are already claiming the concept of the sun not moving is wrong. Because it is moving. But at its own axis. It's expanding and contracting. It's moving. So that also, I don't know how true that is, but that's the argument now. Is that okay? So it's always good to find the latest discovery. Alright? Whatever we thought is the truth, maybe not the truth. Is that okay? So I like that. I always want to think a bit differently. So that's why we have to understand what is a fact and what is an opinion. So while you're reading, you can say, this is a fact. This is an opinion only. It's not a fact. You should be able to identify. Alright? Then finding the main idea, important facts and supporting details. Main idea is the topic sentence. All of you remember topic sentence? Right? Important facts related to main idea and then the supporting details. When you are giving a summary of a passage, what do you give actually? The main idea, important facts. You don't go to the supporting details. Yes or no? Can you understand now? Is that okay? So that is how you should be able to understand this. Is that okay? Alright? Okay, these skills, 10 skills, are particularly important for comprehending what is generally known as information reading. See, I'm not talking about pleasure reading. You read a novel, you read about what games do you like, what sports do you like? Swimming, okay. You read an article about swimming, healthy swimming, whatever. That is not, that can be information also for you, right? Say you're reading a novel, a story, alright, a story. That's pleasure reading. Is that okay? Alright? But here, I'm saying this. Pleasure reading, of course, I don't think you want to get involved in all this. No. Because you read it for pleasure. Right? There are books. Do you all know of this movie called came, I'm probably in the 80s, 90s, very old. Alright. You're not born, I know, right? I read that novel, right? I was very interested in that novel. Very good storyline. I liked it. So I was reading, I think 2-3 times already, reading it over and over. I enjoyed reading it. Then the movie came out. That's wow, I must go and watch the movie. Must be very interesting. When I watched the movie, it was a disaster. What the pleasure I got in the book, I didn't get it. So that's why reading is important, right? But nowadays we find the easy way out, shortcut. We go and watch movies, settle the problem. But actually, learning happens here, not there. Very little there, all right? Okay. So this is information reading, not a pleasure reading, all right? So you must understand information reading is also called expository reading. Maybe highlight that. Maybe coming up with the exam.
Okay. Which part? Section B or C?
Maybe section A,
A.
MCQ, maybe. Or maybe even, question 1 or question 2, filling in the blanks.
Expository.
What's that?
Like that. Expository.
I don't think I want to ask you all these 10 skills. Skimming, scanning, definitely I would ask. Is that okay? I would ask. But what is information reading or expository reading, you must know, alright? Because we read to learn. We read for knowledge. That is information or expository reading. Is that okay now? Okay? Can we move on to the next?